Welcome back to our Kids in Crisis, a mental health emergency. Our coverage continues with the cultural challenges some in our area face.
News 9's Sabrina Lee tells us the issues the Hispanic and Hmong communities are seeing.
If you mention to somebody you got a mental health issue, you must be cuckoo, you must be crazy or something like that.
Tony Gonzalez is the director of the American Hispanic Association. He says mental health is traditionally a very misunderstood topic in the Hispanic community.
Because of tradition and you know where we come from and everything, mental health is seen something as a negative.
Officials at the Hmong American Center say the same.
Due to the stigma or like the negativity around mental health within our Hmong culture.
Saying the issues go from parental misunderstanding to cultural misunderstanding.
Some parents are they just don't want to believe that there's anything wrong with their teens, or due to like not wanting to look bad, or either they don't want to or they don't know how to face it.
And finding mental health professionals who can relate can be even harder.
If you go to, another counselor that may not, have the same culture as you lose that connection.
The path forward to overcoming these barriers?
They stand between the culture they come from and the culture they're in right now.
Communication and having conversations.
Some parents may not know how to communicate with their teens. So just finding that support for the connection for that.
Really understand more of the cultural factors and the need there is for therapists and professionals that are culturally aware.
Experts say we have to start the conversation somewhere and to talk to someone if you're struggling, no matter how scary it may seem. Reporting for News 9, I'm Sabrina Lee.
Lohr and Gonzalez say anyone who needs help is encouraged to reach out. There is a Hmong and Hispanic communication network. You can see the phone numbers on your screen.
Schools across our area are holding mental health seminars.
Last week, D.C. Everest School District held an all-day wellness day aimed at teaching kids not just how to help themselves, but their friends as well. They had small and large group sessions, learning tips about anxiety and self-care, even bringing in renowned speaker Kevin Hines, who survived a suicide attempt more than 2 decades ago.
People all over the world who have survived attempts of suicide in all means, who have survived, recount having the same instant regret that I had. Because you recognize in that moment that things could get better someday.
We met up with some of the kids afterward, and they tell us that they were happy that so many of the students took part, and they really enjoyed the different sessions, many echoing the same thing, their favorite, the Kevin Hines presentation.
He was great, and it really left a mark, I think, because most students don't get to learn or hear about that, and I think it was very powerful.
I think today is very important, and it's definitely left an impact on everybody, and I think people are having fun while they're doing it.
DC Everest made this possible with $40,000 in grants from multiple organizations and donors. Brooke Davis, a DC Everest counselor, has some tips if you'd like to do the same. She says she started by finding organizations in the community which aligned with their goals and looked into what they had available and the guidelines to get the money.
What I've noticed, the conversations that it started within the different organizations. So now we're talking about what we're doing. We're talking about how students are involved. So it's not just a one-day thing. It's not just a grant. It's more of a conversation and a partnership.
Her biggest advice, don't get overwhelmed and mostly listen to students. Don't assume you know what the kids want out of a mental health or wellness day. Let them drive what it looks like.
They aren't the only ones trying to end the mental health stigma. Mosinee High School is hosting a mental health awareness day 1 week from today from 4:30 until 7:30 p.m. Merrill is hosting a Raise Your Voice for Mental Health walk that takes place May 1st at the Mark at 1 p.m. And Stevens Point is hosting a community mental health night May 10th from 5 until 7:30. Families, students, and the community all invited to come. Students at another area high school are also bringing discussions about mental health into the limelight.
Yeah, I got the chance to meet with some of the members of Merrill's Raise Your Voice Club and hear about the work they're doing that could ultimately end up saving lives.
There's a buzz around Merrill High School. And no, it's not just the button maker. It's the buzz of positivity swirling around the Raise Your Voice Club.
I love Raise Your Voice. Personally, I have anxiety, and being at the club and being able to talk openly about it has just been great. And I just love that I get to do that.
I love how Raise Your Voice is accepting of everyone, with anything they have going on. It accepts mental illness, it accepts people who don't have mental illness, and it just brings everyone together.
The students are clear, Raise Your Voice is no therapy club.
We go to Raise Your Voice to prepare ourselves, to prepare our peers, to be able to handle a situation where someone needs someone to talk to, or maybe if someone is thinking about taking their own life, we are prepared to convince them not to take their own life, and we're prepared to give them the resources they need to hopefully feel better.
The club is just in its 3rd year of existence, but has already swollen to about 100 members.
It's a school of only like about 800 people, so that's like an eighth of the school is coming to support this club and really believes in this cause, which is it's really cool to see that so many kids really believe in this topic that was really a taboo not too many years ago.
And now these senior leaders get their chance to leave a lasting legacy.
It really helps kids, and it's so important to me to be able to leave an impact on the school that I know is gonna really make it better.
Another important resource students can turn to SROs, or school resource officers. Their job is to help keep kids safe and be a resource, meaning they're also trained to help with mental health concerns.
We just want students to know that the officers are there for you. They're there to protect you if needed, but in an event of emergency, but their primary role is to be there to help and support you as a student, whatever it is you're going through.
And some school resource officers even have an adorable furry friend companion. Sometimes the hardest part of helping your kids is just getting them to open up to you. What you as parents can do when we come back.
And despite the challenges so many are facing right now, there is hope for a healthier future. We'll explain how parents and the entire community can help when kids in crisis. A mental health emergency returns in just a few minutes. If you or a loved one are struggling with depression and thoughts of suicide, there are state resources that can help. In fact, each county has its own crisis line. Right now, those numbers are scrolling across your screen, and you can find them on our website, WAOW.com.